Hello and welcome. I'm the Rambling Director, and today we're going to be talking about the Harry Potter movies. I am a huge fan of Harry Potter. The books are actually my favorite book series of all time. And I'm a big fan of the movies, too. I really enjoy them. For the most part, I think they have a lot to offer. In fact, I'm such a big fan of Harry Potter that I set up some of my merch just because I wanted to show it off. These are some of the toys from 2001, and I remember getting them when I was a kid, and it was like being able to walk around Hogwarts in miniature form. And playing Hogwarts Legacy recently, it's been a lot like that. I felt like I was like 6 or 7 years old again. Even when I was a little older than that, I think maybe 7 or 8, playing the GameCube version of Chamber of Secrets, I was like, man, this is amazing. I love the whole world of Harry Potter. And as I grew older, one of the things I particularly love about it, as a religious person, as a Christian, I love the subtext. I'm an Anglican, like J.K. Rowling is, so I actually really just love the way she tunes in to the religious subtext in this story without beating you over the head with it. I've always really greatly respected that. It's not preachy. Yet, you'd be hard to find a more one-to-one comparison with the Jesus story, analogously, in fiction, than Harry Potter, right down to the theology and the philosophy around death. And I think the movies, for the most part, do a pretty good job of adapting them. Sorcerer's Stone is one of my favorite movies. In fact, it was actually the first movie I ever saw in a movie theater. And I've always been pretty proud of that because it was such a good experience to be able to see it on the big screen. Chamber of Secrets, I think it's the most underrated film in the series. Prisoner of Azkaban, I think it's a great adaptation of the book. And Alfonso Cuarón did a great job in bringing his vision into the story and continuing off of what Chris Columbus started. Goblet of Fire is a mess. I'll talk about that more later. Order of the Phoenix, again, very underrated, but I actually love it. Half-Blood Prince, I have a love-hate relationship with that movie. And then the last two, I think, are really strikingly good adaptations. And I'm also a big believer that there are certain things that, when you're adapting, you just have to cut out. You just have to leave them on the cutting room floor. There would have been no point in showing us Norbert being, given, carried up to the tower and given to Charlie Weasley. There's just no point in showing all of that on film when you can get it across in a couple sentences. You've saved millions of dollars, and you've given us time in the film that we can use towards better things. Same with the Death Day party in Chamber of Secrets. There are better things that we could be showing, and so when you cut out less important things, I have no issue with that. In certain things like Goblet of Fire, it becomes more tricky because that movie actually cuts out the entire mystery. Harry Potter, they're mystery novels. So when you cut out the entire mystery altogether, you've cut out a huge part of what made Goblet of Fire great. I think it actually was when J.K. Rowling came into her own as a great mystery writer, was in that book. Other things are just bad. The romance between Ginny and Harry is terrible. Open up, you?
Open up, you? Don't you trust me?
Ron being made into a blundering idiot. Terrible. Absolutely terrible. I feel like they were trying to hit, Sokka from Avatar, and they just overshot massively into Ed from Ed, Edd n Eddy. I hate the way they portray his character in the movies, except for the first two. So, all in all, I understand adaptations have to cut certain things. And a movie can be a great movie and a bad adaptation. See Stanley Kubrick's The Shining as the perfect example. However, there is one thing that has bothered me since the first time I seen it, and I think it was a huge missed opportunity. Harry Potter is, as I said, a massive allegory for spiritual battle. And, there have been whole novels written just about the spirituality and the theology in Harry Potter. I can't do it justice in a 10 to 15 minute video. You can look into that yourself. However, one of the key themes is pureness of heart and forgiveness, redemption and the fear of death. These things are all masterfully woven together throughout the 7 books. And it all comes to a head in book number 7, when Harry, after returning from the dead, has seen Voldemort's mangled soul. It's a very Eastern Orthodox, or again, sort of Anglican C.S. Lewis sort of interpretation of hell. That hell is not a place where God inflicts punishment on you, but rather you have become a type of creature in your life, and that is the type of creature that you will remain in the afterlife. You have developed into something, and that something was less than a heavenly creature. So he sees the mangled remains of Voldemort's destroyed soul, and when he comes back, even though Dumbledore has told him there's nothing we can do about it, he actually unfolds the mystery like any great mystery novel should, but then he starts adding on a key theme. Harry has gone from somebody in the first couple books who hates Voldemort for what he did to his parents and sees him as pure evil. A kid in the 3rd book who, if he had the chance, would have killed Sirius Black for what he did to his parents. And then, throughout the course of his growth as a hero, has come to the point where now he has the opportunity. He could wreak vengeance on Voldemort. And he even knows that he doesn't have to destroy his own soul to do it. He knows the Elder Wand is going to backfire. He knows that Voldemort will fail, and this will kill him in all probability, leaving Harry alive. Harry could just initiate the battle and finish him off, but no. In the true spirit of that Christian allegory, he says, listen, Tom, this is your last chance. Try to feel some remorse for what you've done. Now, they've linked this into the story by having this great little bit of world building where the only way you can undo a Horcrux is by feeling regret, by feeling the depth of what you've done to your soul. That can actually heal you, heal your soul. It is a terrifying process that is actually so invasive that it will likely kill the person who does it. So, Voldemort has 2 options. He can die and become the hellish creature, or he can have a chance of redemption by feeling regret. Again, this is a great Christian allegory because in order to undo the hellish creatures that we've made ourselves into, we can't just say, oh yeah, Jesus is Lord, and move on. We have to feel regret. We have to confess that we've done something wrong and feel it. We have to understand that we have been less than we were created to be, and be willing to allow heaven to make that change within us. So Harry is actually, in a allegorical, fictionalized way, sort of preaching the gospel. He's reaching out to his enemy, who he should, by worldly standards, wish ill upon, and loving him. Loving your enemy, a lot of people don't, especially non-Christians, don't get this. They think like, I don't feel any love for a rapist or a murderer. Exactly. You don't have to feel it. All loving your neighbor means is wishing they're good, wishing they hadn't done that evil thing, wishing that they could turn from it and feel regret for what they've done. But it really says something about who Harry is. That his pureness of heart is not just seeing something in the mirror anymore. It's tangibly reaching out to Voldemort to help him see it. All that he has done, and his experience of becoming the Master of Death by dying, just as we know. Again, this is a very religious video. This is not going to connect with everybody. If you disagree, that's fine. But, as we know, the Christian way is laid out. You have to die to yourself, and in dying you rise with Christ, and you see the value of other souls around you, especially the ones that are the most mangled, the most tortured, because they're the ones that need mercy the most. So, in my opinion, what do I think is the worst change, the worst part of the adaptations of the Harry Potter movies, the one that got under my nails from the first time I saw it? Harry and Voldemort's final battle is just that. It's just them shooting spells at each other and the wands connecting for the 50 millionth time, Which, you know, they just do it. They just do that way too much in the movies. They really overplay their hand with the wands connecting. In the movies, we're just not given enough personality for Harry to know that Harry actually values the wholeness of his soul and wouldn't murder Voldemort. So in the end, it doesn't come across like Harry is just fighting for his life. It comes across like he is actually trying to fight Voldemort to the death. And yeah, when the final Horcrux is severed and he simply dies, we don't get that full resolution. Harry explains the mystery later, but because we've lost Harry reaching out to Voldemort, we've lost a key part of what made Harry truly the most pure of heart character in the series. For what he's gone through and the repeated traumas, he has the right to hate Voldemort more than any character. Yet, he actively tries in his actions to wish his good and well-being. That's what makes him such a great role model and a great character. And to me, by cutting that out, it really spoiled the end of the series, because I just think that's what it's all meant to be building up to, because that's what the books was building up to. Whew. So, that felt kind of good to get off my chest. Let me know, obviously, again, this was a very religious video and you might disagree, but what about you? Do you agree with me? Do you think that was a bad change? Do you prefer it the way it was in the movie? What was the adaptational change that really got to you the most and made you dislike any part of the movies? Or did you just dislike the movies together? Or maybe you thought they were perfect. I'm really excited to hear your thoughts on it in the comments. So let me know what you think. Thank you everybody for watching. I know this was kind of a rambly one, but you saw the channel name and clicked on the video, so I don't know what you expected. Thank you everybody for watching. God bless you, have a good one, and I will see you in the next one.